Hey, Mike here, and it's another No Bullshit Saturday. Today I want to talk about industry experts, and it doesn't really matter what industry we mean here. It's just that a lot of those experts take the stages on conferences or online, and they kind of give that aura of super professional guru, talking to those little minions, those little junior designers or junior developers, and just kind of, blessing them with his presence or her presence. And if you look around, there's like social media ninjas, marketing gurus, front-end masters, and like everyone around that. They all appear very successful and very knowledgeable. So when you're just starting, as a junior designer or a junior developer or a junior marketing manager, I think that it's pretty easy to be starstruck by those people, and it's pretty easy to follow every advice they give you kind of blindly without really thinking, because well, they're the experts and they're on the stage, right? So the thing is, it's not really that difficult to get on stage on some conferences. And I don't want to downplay anybody, no worries, not today, that's not one of those days. But at the same time, it's really like, I think that too many people are just blindly listening to whoever is on stage, because that stage is giving what they're saying the value that you need. And if that person wasn't on stage, you'd probably treat what they're saying completely differently. There is a main general rule to approach this, and it is to use your own knowledge and your own logic to validate what you're hearing. So if an expert is talking to you and is saying something that you don't feel is quite right, don't accept it, because it can be completely wrong. So there has been so much bullshit said from stages in any industry, and quite a lot of bullshit in the UX industry or in the development industry. So you need to filter, you need to, kind of like look at it from a perspective of learning, but you need to use what you already know, and you need to kind of have a pretty good bullshit detector. And one way to check if somebody is bullshitting you is to see how much actual data are they showing in their presentation. Because if they're kind of like using very difficult to understand or to remember words, and they're kind of talking a lot and showing empty slides with big fonts, but they show no examples of what they did or how they did it, that can be a dead giveaway that there is no value in that whole presentation. You need to look for value, and it's gonna get easier as you get more experience. So it just happens that those junior people are the most vulnerable because they're kind of the easiest to bullshit. And one way to kind of get through it is to volunteer to speak at some event yourself. So just do like a case study of a project that you worked on, or how you built your portfolio or anything, because sort of moving you onto a stage, or maybe just a Zoom call, but still it's a stage kind of in a non-literal sense. I spoke at many events and I've been on many stages. I mean, I'm using mostly my experiences, and they can be wrong, they can be completely wrong, but I'm just sharing what I know. It's not like the one sort of hard truth, because in many industries now there is no one solid truth. There are many possible ways to achieve things. One example is being an expert on design systems, which is quite cool if you actually built a design system. But even if you haven't and you're still building one for your company, the good thing about being an expert in that field is that you don't really need to follow any rules or guidelines, and you can do it completely opposite to what everybody else is saying. And then you can say just the magic words. It works for my organization. And that basically makes it valid for most people, because if a design system works for an organization, that makes it all valid. It now makes sense, because the whole idea of a design system is to make how the organization is working a lot better. So if anything is helping the organization work better, it is a design system. So that's one example of how you can be an expert and be completely opposite to everybody else. But what you should definitely avoid is if you're looking at a presentation of a designer and the entire presentation itself looks like shit. For example, I've seen a presentation from a renowned expert on design thinking where the whole design thinking title was so much off to the side, most of the letter D was cut off by the screen. So it was like design thinking or whatever. So I'm not saying not to trust industry experts, but just try not to blindly follow their lead. Try to listen to what they really have to say, but don't take notes if something just doesn't seem right. Or take notes and then fact check them. And you don't need to confront those people, just they don't really care about that. So you don't need to prove them wrong or anything. But the whole idea about learning from others is to gather as much knowledge that's going to be of use to you. So if something is plain wrong or just stupid or useless, and you'll remember it and you'll try to use it yourself, that's kind of wasted time for you. And you know what, I'm gonna tell you something that most of those experts don't tell you. I think that you know quite a lot already, and the chances are that you're pretty good at what you're doing. And of course we're all learning all the time, so it's not like it's all finite and it's gonna be, you know, some level where you don't need to do anything anymore. You're still gonna have to learn, and it's all about learning, about improving. So I believe that you are good enough to assess the bullshit yourself. You just need to approach everything that happens with a very open mind, but also with a little bit of a critical eye. So don't just accept, analyze and take your own assumptions. Okay, thanks for watching. And you know, if you tell 2 friends about this video and they will tell 2 friends of their own, it's gonna be like 6 people or something. So yeah, that would bump the views into like double digits, and that would be pretty awesome. Okay, yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, share the video, and see you next time.